So he goes down into like this low stalker kind of like play mode. There you go. Good.
Good job.
Very good.
I got some more for you.
Very good.
Guys, look at you guys.
Good. He seems much more relaxed now too, is the thing, right?
Good job. Good job. Oh, you like that too?
Good boy. There you go.
You're such a good boy now that you've been so basic. Good job. And he's such a big boy too. You're not scared? You're not scared of a big boy, right? Oh, did you want to know what? The ditches? Got your way of scratching your nose?
And it's hard for a lot of people to discern because some of these breeds, like the shepherds, Rotties, Pitties, things like that, and once, after a year or two, it seems like they're fully grown, right? And they look about as big as they're gonna get and as old as they're gonna get for a while. So, but like in realistic terms, he's still a baby.
Yeah.
Right? That's why it's really hard to meet other people, and that's why it's really important that you kind of try your best to communicate while you're out socializing to help them to understand, because they're already going to be on the back foot just from his size, and his sound and his demeanor and everything. Just like with this one too, he looks like he's stalking his prey like a cat or something. It can be very off-putting for some dogs and some people too, but it's just how he likes to initiate his play. Oh, got one on the floor there. You might have to help him with that. I don't know if he can get it. Can you get it? No. There you go. Good.
He's like, you said it was okay. Does that mean we're done?
And that's one of those things, right? Like once they are actually confident that there's no threat there, that reactivity is gone. It sounds simple enough, but that theory of no fear reactivity comes into play there. He's got no reason to bark for space or to protect mom or lunge at somebody because they're moving too fast, because he now knows and feels that they're not a threat. Right? So instead of trying so hard, like we have to do it at first because we need to redirect him to help him calm down, but instead of focusing on that part, getting him to calm down and telling him to stop barking, really showing him that he doesn't need to bark is the key to like the long-term success, right? There you go. It's like the slight difference of training, like a lot of people do unfortunately, in treating the symptom as opposed to actually treating the disease. There you go. It's always easier said than done. Like we have we have the luxury of controlling a lot of the variables here, and like the experience that I have knowing the dogs and everything else.
Right.
But for normal people, it's scary. Most people, yeah, it's understandable. We always fall back as the better safe than sorry. He's like, what is that?
He thinks I have. You can smell my stuff, right? You can smell my stuff. You think I was having it? I wasn't having it. I saved it for you guys.
I'll go ahead and get the next pup out. He's a little bit bigger, but he's also a puppy still too.
Okay.
So it'll be good to see how they go, and he's friendly as well. All right, good boy. Come, Rizzo, come. Good boy. Let's sit. Loki. Down. All right, Loki. Come. No. Come. Good boy. I know. Hold on. Saddle. Saddle. Yes. Good. Right. So go ahead and give this one a minute to settle down too. Wait. He's all excited because we want him to be nice and calm when they meet too, to not accidentally trigger the other one, right? Right. Yes. Sit. Good. Wait. Good. There you go. Here. Okay. Good boy. Okay. There you go. Right? So it's that face-to-face confrontation again, right? It's a little too hard for him. So we're just gonna reset and we'll walk again. Good boy. Wait. Good boy. Up here. Good. Wait. So I'll walk with you.
Walk?
Yeah, I'll walk with you. It'll make it easier. And I'll come up, and you can come up from behind. Right? Good boy, come. I know, you're excited. Good job. Here, something that might help. Go ahead and put him in the car real quick. I'll give you something. So I'll go ahead and walk, and that way he can come up from behind.
You like my snack too, don't you? I see that.
There you go. No face to face. I know. He might have to smell him first, so he's calm. We'll see. We'll go nice and slow. There you go. Good. He's trying to smell him. Go ahead and make sure there's no tension on the lead whenever you don't need it. There you go. Perfect. Yep. Go ahead and let him smell. Good. There you go. Good. There you go. Good. And he should come back and release tension on his own. There you go.
Come on.
He doesn't like that face-to-face confrontation. There you go. There you go. Okay. I'll keep letting him kind of walk up casually. You can come up behind him whenever. There you go. Just do your best to keep the leash nice and loose. Yep. We'll give him the time that he needs to get comfortable. You can kind of see there, they worked well enough that he could, there you go. There you go. Good.
Good job, Bubba. Point. So we can boy. I know you don't like them. Huh?
And the goal is to avoid using it, right? Just to make your life easier for those short intervals. And then you swap it back over to his regular collar once he's calmed down. Good. Come here, big guy. There you go. Good.
Okay.
Yep. There you go. Go ahead and... Right? So now he's kind of avoiding more than anything else, which is fine. Okay, yep. Try to let him sneak around back there. There you go. Good. We'll see if we'll need it for one more outburst, and then you'll probably be able to take it off and swap back over to his traditional one. And that's the thing too. Usually I see those kind of injuries and burns from like overuse, whereas
yeah. I'm the only one who uses it, so
maybe that's sense.
I know that.
Maybe he's just super sensitive.
Yeah.
Good part.
Big black. I don't know, scab.
That's weird.
He's a weird dog.
At least this one starts off with the vibration. So, like I said, it's so long as he just does it.
That one has a vibration too.
Mm-hmm.
I could probably use that, but I opted to come see you instead.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, he doesn't need it, but sometimes for that initial burst, there you go. Right? It was just much faster of a cool down and less effort on you. So now that
that might have been what made him.
If you do it too late.
Vicious is because it happens when he lunges, right? You don't have anything on you that you push a button or anything. Right?
No, I do different ones, but the main thing for those is you have to be very preemptive, right? This one does it right as he's doing it, or as you're trying to pull him back, and it's more of like that interrupt. Whereas a lot of times people will accidentally do it too late, right? Because they'll freak out. He's already lunged, he's already attacking, and then you try to do it. That's what increases the aggressiveness, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So go ahead. Yeah. So go ahead and take it off of him now. That's all you needed was that. I just wanted to see if it would help for that initial burst, and it definitely did. So you didn't have to like need as much effort pulling him back in, right?
Oh yeah, right.
That's all.
No, I wasn't saying it was a bad thing. I'm just talking with you about it because I'm interested.
For the most part, we don't want to have to use it more than we need to, if at all. I just wanted to see if it would help you because you had to pull so much to have him back, and because he would still fixate even when you did. So either that or like the air spray, anything that interrupts. Anything to interrupt. Either one.
Yeah.
The main thing is to interrupt as soon as he's starting to do that, because that's the easiest time to do it. And that's why something like that's triggered by pressure is good, because it's instantaneous. As soon as he starts pulling, it starts going, right? You don't have to worry about it. But then as soon as you release pressure, it stops.
I wish mine did that. Mine doesn't.
That's why I like this one, because when I have to work with aggressive cases, usually my hands are full, but this way, that when they lunge, even when they know they shouldn't, because we've been trying to practice that, if they make the mistake, they correct themselves on it, and then when they calm down and they redirect, it stops.
Right.
So it's a lot more like on their shoulders.
Where do you get one like this?
I can send you the link, but if, like I said, you might not need it. I just wanted to see how much it would help. It definitely helped a little bit. But he didn't need it to calm down for the other pup too. It shrinks your time. That's all.
And I think it could be too because of the quick turn. Not that it's his fault, but
the face to face too.
But he seems okay now.
Go ahead and take it off of him and put it back on the regular. So that way we don't even have it on him longer than we need to. But there you go. But it's funny is, like, I do the same with like choke and prong collars too. I actually don't because a lot of times parents will have those on all the time, and that gets them used to the additional pressure too. I only use it when I need it, kind of like that, with that initial pull, and it adds an additional force. But then when I go back to normal, like, I take it off, so there's no extra pressure.
I only use it when I'm coming to see you, actually. That's why he has the blue collar, so it's normal. You know, one with his favorite.
Yeah, go ahead and take off the other one and just hand that to me so that way we don't. And plus, like I said, if it does irritate him just from the contact, we'll want to try to reduce it. There you go.
Yeah, I can't believe it. I noticed those things when I was using vibrators. I was scared to use the shock. I made my husband and myself do the shock on ourselves first, because I was like,
you have to feel what it's like when you're doing it with somebody else. Good job. Yeah. That's why I like this one, because it has that progressive mode. It starts at vibrate, you know, and then when right, and then when they ignore that and they continue pulling, that's when it goes back up. Good boy. Right. Good. He's a little bit more picky. There you go. You saving the rest for later? Yeah. There you go. He's got it. Good boy. Oh. He's like, hold on, what else you got? There you go. Good. Right. Right? That extended, like, face-to-face confrontation. He's looking at him. He's looking at him. Yeah.
I know, it is just, I get it. Yeah, I wonder why you have one on. I don't know.
Good boy.
That way?
Good boy.
Okay, I know, it's okay though.
And that's something too. He just has to get comfortable with the other dog first. And until he actually does, when he locks, that uncomfortableness and that reactivity still kicks in. And that's how you'll know that he's comfortable with somebody, is when he can just lock and then turn himself away or off of it back to you, either by command or by himself, you know.
Yeah, you asked me, I'm sorry I didn't reply to your doorbell thing.
That's okay.
Because that one I haven't been working on as much. I will, but I haven't. But I have been working on the stop, retreat, you know, listen to me kind of thing.
It's harder in these scenarios.
Well, I think the doorbell thing, it just, like you said, I didn't set a scheduled time to do it. And so every day we were going to do it. And then, you know what I'm saying?
And the easiest...
And I'm like, I have got to do this, because we were just talking about if the trainer tells you something but you don't practice it, it ain't your fault that he ain't doing what he's supposed to be doing. But he has been working better on the cones.
That's good.
And I think in an indestructible ball too. So we've been working on.
There you go. The main thing, like I said, is to try to just fit it into your routine somehow. That's why I usually did it when I had to go to the bathroom, because I always went to the bathroom and I was like, okay, well, I went to the bathroom. I got to go and ring the door and, you know, work on this for a second. That's all. You want to try to make it as casual and consistent as possible, so that way you don't forget. You don't want to have to feel like you're making extra time for the training, because that's where a lot of people end up failing, because we don't have extra time for anything, right? But we might have an extra 2 or 3 minutes or 5 minutes after we go to the bathroom, or after we, you know, have lunch, you know?
Right.
You just try to think of it that way, so that way it'll help kind of make it so you just kind of force yourself to practice a little bit every day. Because it's just definitely one of those behaviors, especially when it comes to knocking or the doorbell ringing. You just have to really be sensitized into it. And unless, like I said, unless you're like my friend who's constantly having people over, his golden didn't care at that point, you know. People could, yeah, exactly. This just come and go. You can leave the door open. His dog's not going anywhere. His dog's not getting up from the sofa. He's like, whatever. It's somebody else coming in. But it's just constant. Also from when he was young, right? So there's nothing exciting about it. He's probably known most of those people too.
Right.
And it's harder for the average person to do that, but that's the only reason why sometimes dogs get so excited, or in his case too, apprehensive, right? If he is already unsure, a lot of times.
Most people don't even knock on the door. Like, we see them coming and we go outside because it's my family or something, and they're excited to see him, so we just go outside. So when he hears the doorbell, it is a new thing for him because he doesn't hear it very often.
Yeah. Right. So another thing too is like the size of the dog, right? He's also taking him a little bit longer, right? He's freezing, he's tracking. It's taking him a little bit longer to get used to him, even though he's just as friendly. He doesn't care as much, you know. He's even less barky, but he's larger. Right. So especially with dogs that are more insecure, a dog that is larger is going to be harder to overcome. We'll kind of practice that next. So I got a couple of small pups, and then we'll have a really big dog.
Really big, like Ozzy big?
Oh, bigger.
No,
Oh yeah, and louder, and more insecure.
No, what?
Oh yeah.
What kind?
Great Dane Mastiff.
You gotta wonder though. Like, I wonder with Ozzy, how's he insecure? He's so big. You know, I'm always telling him, you can kick anybody's ass. I mean, that doesn't matter to him, but.
A lot of dogs don't know their own size. It's just in relation to, right? That's why when they're puppies, everything else is bigger, so it can cause more traumatic events. But when they get bigger, then like a dog that's smaller and they have to look down, it's not as threatening or as imposing. Whereas a dog that still is an equal, right, or they have to look up, reminds them that they're smaller, right, and at a disadvantage in a fight. It's very like primal things that you're kind of touching base on that one.
Well, the big part about all that is my daughter's dog is small.
There you go. Should make it easier for him. Loki's like, I don't know, man.
That's what all this is about. Well, I'd like to be able to take him places without him freaking out too, but.
Yeah. I mean, he might just be that dog that freaks out initially and then gets comfortable. You know, you might not ever get him to that point when he's just like, he sees the dog and he's going to be okay. You might have to always have that process of getting him to redirect, getting him to calm down, getting him to focus. But then once you get him to that point, then you know that you're good. So that's the difference between some dogs with certain temperaments and dispositions. Go ahead and loose, yeah. Right? Oh yeah, we eating trash now? Is that what we're doing? Good boy.
I like him.
There you go. Good job.
He's a pretty boy. He's a pretty boy. I like you. Yeah. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. No worries. Will you stop? I know your nose itches. I get it.
Right.
I get it. You're itchy.
So one last exercise is to, like I said, have them do that face-to-face confrontation, and then you practice redirecting them. So just watch him closely, and then when you see that he starts to fixate and he's about to go down the wrong hook, then just try to redirect him before he overreacts, right?
Okay.
Right. There's your opportunity.
Good boy.
And
Hey. Look at mommy. Look at me. What are you doing? Huh? What's up? It's okay, right?
good. He helped you by looking away too.
Yeah.
So you kind of see there, right?
Yeah.
Things get tense a little bit.
The tense and the eye frame.
He froze. All right.
He's unsure.
All right. Try again.
He got an itchy nose. He's got an itchy nose. I know. I love the other one. Come on, though. You don't like this one. Be happy to give you one. Right? He's a good boy. He's a good boy. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Good boy. It's okay. I get it. Your nose is itchy. You are itchy boss. You are itchy boss. Good job. Good job. Good job. It's way easier to get him beforehand. Good job, Bubba.
Right.
Than it is when he's in the middle of that. His nose itches.
Aw. There you
That's why
go.
he's doing that, because he's got an itchy nose.
Poor guy.
He's always got an itchy nose though. Good. Ah!
Right?
Sorry. I
It's
got
okay. Very little time, right? He turned, he was already there, he looked, and then he reacted.
Yeah.
Right?
But now he's over it again.
Mhm.
He's got
He's
an itchy
over
nose.
it, but he's not comfortable still.
Right.
Right? He's not like with the last pup, right? You can
Yeah.
always kind of tell when he is softened up and when he's still kind of unsure. I know, bud. Good boy. Good job.
How long do you keep the border dog? Just until or?
Anywhere from 2 to 3 weeks, just depending. Good boy. Good boy. Right? So even though he's more reactive, his body is looser. Right? He's a little more at ease. It's more like that excitement than anything else. And that's where, when you're taking him out, those times when he freaks out, it's good to try to actually take a moment to discern how is he actually freaking out. Is he barking because he's excited? Is he barking because he's apprehensive? Good boy, Cornelius. Right? The hop is even a little bit more playful. The bark is softer and shorter. Let him try to go up behind and smell if he's not gonna get away fast enough. He's like, I don't know, man. I don't know. So funny. There you go. You're okay, Cornelius.
Hi. Hi.
Good. There you go.
Hi.
This is just getting distracted by other things and people around.
What? What is it? What is it, young man? What's the matter? Hey, don't look so fast.
I was gonna say, it'll try to let him smell him from behind, but he kind of scared him off quickly.
You're going a little too fast.
Right? We want him to be nice and slow. Good boy. Hey, go.
I'm talking to you.
Right? And what's interesting here is, even though this pup is much smaller, they're more confident in themselves, obviously, because they're not barking back they're not. They only move away when you move it quickly. So even though he is a smaller dog, he is the much more confident dog.
Yeah, definitely. Usually little dogs are though.
Hmm?
Of course, that's why they bark a lot though.
Sometimes.
Well, you making sure he's not worried about it? Looking for it.
Go ahead and we'll walk over to the grass over here.
What did you say?
Oh, we'll walk behind the grass fields this way. Switch it up because there's a lot of traffic coming up here. Good, yep. Just let him go ahead and go. Yep. Nice and slow, go ahead. Yep, so if he's interested, go ahead and let him engage. There you go, perfect, right? He's a lot more interested already than the other one. Even with the last one, right? So definitely something about the size and not being as intimidated, but that face-to-face factor is still in play.
Right.
Yeah.
It's okay. You can say hi.
Like I said, that's a really hard one for a lot of dogs.
Good boy.
Very good.
Good boy, Ozzy. Good
Good.
job. Look at you.
I'll try to keep him close. Good, there you go.
Good job, Bubba.
So much faster, didn't need any extra help. You know, still reactive initially, but I think it's just, like I said, sometimes initially that's how he's always going to be, but what you want to focus on is your ability to redirect and recover, right?
Right.
Because you know that he's going to be like, who's that? You know, don't let it go. So you have to take what you know that you can control and then let the other person know, right? Like, hey, he's not really good with face-to-face confrontations. So can we walk wild to get used to you from behind? You know, he's got a muzzle on, so he can't bite. You know, you try to extend that time, and while you're doing that, you're giving him more time that he needs to get comfortable.
Good, Bubba.
Okay. So we'll go ahead and walk up to the next part of the box here. Easy, good. Right, and like Cornelius doesn't care at all, right? There's like zero care at all with this huge dog behind him.
I know, right?
He's like, cool.
Like, whatever. Yeah, let's not get your face in the pee, probably. Like, I get you don't care. Then you want to kiss me about face? Ew.
It's all good.
Ew.
I'll just follow you now. Right? Much more engaging, right? Smaller, less intimidating, the less reactive, the more he feels like he can approach, which is sad because, like I said, if he was still a puppy, this would be like all in his realm. Everybody would still be small. He'd be learning these things when he's still tiny.
Right.
But we missed that, so you know we're just gonna have to understand that.
Totally.
And the main thing is to try to get other people to understand that. Right? It's the hardest thing.
Yeah, because they're scared of it.
Rightfully so. He can be very dangerous when he's scared and snapping like that. He's very strong. He doesn't probably even know how strong he is.
Might do that.
Right? So now he's behind. He doesn't even care either. Right? He's not checking back. He's not keeping an eye on things. He's not locking gazes. He's got no worries in the world because he doesn't deem the thing here as a threat. Right? He's interested, but there you go.
He's like, whatever.
Right?
Going down here.
He doesn't deem him as a threat either. The good or bad for self-preservation, though. All right. Next up, we'll go with the opposite. right? So you can see here, you haven't done anything. She's already seen somebody and she's already above neutral, right, from the hairs. Good girl. Good. Good girl. Right? Constantly checking back in from behind. Here, I'll go ahead and turn around and you can follow us. Right? And I'll show you, this is what I mean by you can train, right? But they might always still have that initial apprehensiveness. You call? Okay. You kiss? Good girl. Right? All right, Fiona. Good. Good. Come on over. You come on. Alright, and that's how you can tell too, it's more of that fear and apprehensiveness than actual aggression. Right? Good girl. Here, we'll go this way. It's okay. Good girl. Don't scare the little one. Come on. Good girl. Right? Fiona. Good girl. Right? You can tell he's less worried about I'm worried about you. Now you can see him just be scared, because he doesn't even want to challenge the space. He just wants to avoid, right? It's another way that you know that it's fear-based instead of protection or aggression. Because if it was protection, he'd still be acting very similar when she goes in towards you. But he's definitely trying his best to avoid this situation, which is understandable. She has that effect. And we'll go ahead and follow you. You're okay. Good girl. Easy. Right? Right? Good. 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 Fiona. Good. 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 Good redirect. Try again. And I'll calm her down. I'll calm her down after, so that way it gives you plenty of practice to calm him down first. There you go. Doing good. Good girl. Very good. This way. Good girl. Shh. Good girl. Also, right? Because her problem comes when she lunges as well. We've trained her not to at all. She just still needs reminders when something is on or off, because that's how bad her anxiety takes over, right? She can listen to every redirect, but it's not strong enough, you know. Right, without some sort of follow-up consequence. Now that she knows that there's some sort of follow-up consequence, it's a lot harder for her to react, because even though she's still scared, she knows that there's going to be something that happens if she pulls, right? So now, instead of redirecting her, she's controlling herself, because one fear is overriding another fear. Good girl. Yes, good girl, much better. And that's how you'll also know that it's more of like that anxiety issue, something that they can't control even with training, unless they need something else higher than that anxiety. Good girl. Good. Yep, you're good. We'll just follow you for a little bit. Good girl. Had to foster / rescue her because there's no way she would survive in a shelter.
Is she your dog?
Hmm?
Is she your dog then?
Technically, she's a foster fail because she scared away 3 people. I was hoping eventually she'd find another family, but she's gonna probably just stick with us. It's fine. She's getting old now anyways. Like I said, she does well with other pups. and it's just easier for me to control her.
Which is good. If she does well with other pups, and she has other pups all the time.
And you can kind of see why, right? She has that effect. She's bigger, but she's now kind of crossed that threshold even for him, where his fear, kind of like with this, right? The fear of it is enough to override a lot of that behavior.
Or not aggression.
Defensiveness, yeah. Good. Good girl.
He did really well. He listened to you when you started.
So the hope is, you know, you can get them one day to just see and not react altogether, but you know, you might always, worst case scenarios like her, I need to micromanage to help her out initially. Then once she's calmed down, okay. Girl, come here. It's okay. Let me say hi. There you go. Right? It's good redirecting on your part, and then good reading on his part, right? You're kind of learning like he would be if he was a smaller puppy, you know, not to.
Everybody says that about their dog.
Good girl. It's okay.
Ozzy.
You see how she didn't flinch. That's how you know that, like, she's not just reacting off of him. She's like, cool, good bark, bro. Good girl. I know. So funny. Good girl.
Okay, I'm gonna take it off. I think we're done for today.
We'll go ahead and give him a break. I'll go put her away. Do you have any questions or anything?
No, not today. Good boy.
Very good.
Good boy.
Right?
It's okay.
Let's see if he'll let her. No, that's fine. And because she's older too and more socialized with dogs, she can read dogs too when they're uncomfortable and give them space as well, right? She's more concerned, like I said, again with you. And even then, she's trying her hardest. I know. Good girl. Yes. Good girl. Very good. Oh, I know. Okay. You can tell we've done this a lot. A lot. And sometimes you have to. Just depends on how deep that trauma goes.
Right. Do you know what happened to her?
Nope.
Nothing happened. I've had these since she was 7 weeks old. You stop. I don't want it on. I'm gonna take it off. We're done for today.
Shh. Good girl. Come on, let's go.